Top of the morning to you laddies, the name's Jim, and welcome to Minecraft's biggest structure. So sorry about the frame rate, guys, I don't know what's up. The latest snapshot today, it's been stuttering a little bit more than usual. But oh man, you remember how we talked about Minecraft's biggest structure having something crazy like 8,600 something variants? Well, Mojang decided that isn't enough. Today, we've got some brand new abandoned campsites to take a look at, as well as some weird world generation changes, new options, and smelting. Before we get too far into things, smash that like button, subscribe, and what do you think? Do you think Mojang is cooking up anything else for the popular update? Or are we just about done? Speaking of the future, that's where I'd like to begin today, because look, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm overlooking and thinking about things a little bit too much. I'll go outside and touch some grass after this, but it's yet another Tuesday, and it seems that they've run out of quippy snapshot intros until the next delivery. I don't know, man. Maybe they're saying next week is going to be a juicy snapshot. Maybe that's just hopium. But look, man, I'm just reading it like it is. Pop your way into a Minecraft world in this snapshot, tap that pause button, and world options. This is brand new. If I tap on world options inside of this screen, wow, they've gone ahead and cleaned this menu up and made it look way better. In general, we have game rule control. This was kind of there before, but looked different. And actually, a lot of this stuff was going to be here before. Restrictions, for example, lets you know if you're in trouble. Game mode, commands, those are all straightforward, and difficulty as well. Move down a little bit further, and then we have multiplayer. If I switch this to a multiplayer world, then I can adjust command access. This is going to control whether somebody joining your world could actually mess with the commands or not. The previous game mode control has all been combined into this one right here. So when I open up a land world, if I have it set to creative, that's what the setting is for land. Meanwhile, if it's like adventure or something like that, then that's what it is. If you give everyone command access, then they'll be able to change their game mode when it's multiplayer. If you give nobody command access, then only you can change the game mode. This is basically a streamlining of a Minecraft menu in order to make it look a little bit better. Then I can't help but wonder, man. We have that beautiful friending system that the developers built out in the last update. I cannot help but wonder, maybe dream, of P2P connections, maybe coming back sometime soon. It seems like lately, Mojang is doing quite a bit of toggling and adjusting with these world options and multiplayer settings. And oddly enough, lately, it seems like Mojang is doing quite a bit of adjusting with brewing and smelting as well. Figured it out. With the snapshot, it's just bugged. When I go in full screen mode, the frame rate drops, and I'm just so sorry. I'm gonna not go in full screen for the rest of this video. Hopefully, that'll make it a little bit better. Brewing and smelting, they're back at it again. They've made it so you can customize burn time and speed multipliers, as well as uses in brewing fuel as well. And they made the composter a little bit more customizable too. You can now customize how many layers of the composter should be filled up when you use a specific item inside of said composter. Oh, now next up, I'd like to take a cruise, a look over to the popular forest biome. A couple of days ago, we took a look at the Dappled Forest biome on Minecraft, the Bedrock Edition, and on Minecraft Java Edition. I am generating a brand new world in this snapshot to take a look. And, well, tragically, the Dappled Forest biome, all of these weeks later, man, it is still unchanged and definitely not anywhere close to parity on Java and Bedrock. With each passing week, I fear that we are running out of time to add to or improve this biome, actually, implement any of the feedback. So, hopefully sometime soon, they take a look at the Dappled Forest and, at least make it a little bit bigger, the trees more dense. I know they don't always have to implement the feedback, but we gave them quite a bit of feedback, and nothing seems to be changing here at all. We've got a brand new invulnerability data tag here. I think this kind of relates to maybe the cushion and what's going on with this thing, but also it can be used in anything that can have entity data. So, for example here, the cushion. You know how when you break a block below it, it kind of stays for a second, allowing you to, swap a block out down below it? Well, I don't know if it's just me or what, but it feels like the cushion is giving you even more time inside of this snapshot to actually switch things out down below it, which is going to make building with this thing in creative mode, survival mode, so much better. Take a look at this. For example, let's say I had wood right there and I wanted to put a fence going straight through it. In survival, I can now chop this thing out, swap over to a fence, and I had plenty of time there to get my cushion all set up and ready for my fancy little stool that I wanted to build here. This is a nice little cushion change that I don't believe anybody really saw coming here, but is kind of beautiful and makes it way easier to use. Now, when building with this thing and swapping out blocks, whatever you're trying to do, you don't really have to be all that quick at all. Technically speaking, as documented by the devs themselves, this is what we're looking at. Oh, now world generation, dude. Don't even get me started. Mojang, what are you on about lately? They keep toggling world generation, customizing it, or making it more customizable easily in like every snapshot in this update cycle. I don't know what we're building up to, but all of the stuff that you're looking at right now is all technical documentation to all of the new things that you can control relating to world generation. For example, right here, world generation noise, which basically defines how a world is like smooth or like a bunch of holes or whatever. Well, you could now customize the world noise of an area way easier than you would have been able to before. They even added the POW function. I wonder if they know what that means. Very oddly, a couple of interesting world generation changes that were adjusted inside of the snapshot. A bug resulting in caves and floating island noise settings not correctly working. And basically directly related to the floating island stuff, at least to my knowledge. The outer end out here, these floating end islands, they have now been recategorized and renamed. Look, man, I don't know why, but these things, they used to be called end islands. Now specifically, they are called end outer islands. They will no longer compute the density of the main island as well, the one by 00. All in all, a lot more world generation changes that are going down on this snapshot. Pile them up with like the last 4 snapshots as well. And something's cooking, guys. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing. Next up, we take a look at the brand new structure coming to the game in this update, because this week they have made many changes to the structure. I haven't been able to explore every single structure because, well, actually they're being sly. In the changelog this time around, they don't really explain what they've done very much to the abandoned campsite structure, other than adding a new variant for it and tweaking the structure. From the brief amount of time that I've had exploring these abandoned campsites, what seems to be happening here is our rare loot, the loot that will form inside of the copper chests, well, it seems to be a little bit more common based off of the campsites that I've been finding and looking at here. Meanwhile, the structure itself, updated a couple of weeks ago to add straw beds and cushions to its generation, well, the structure itself is going to look different too. So keep in mind here, when we have an abandoned campsite, we have 2 different pieces that will generate every single time. We've got the tent, and then what we've got in front of it, that's called the campsite. In our previous snapshot, like every single one before this, there were always 3 dedicated campsite variants for every biome, and then like 45 other ones that are just generic. We had 10 tents in every single biome too. Now, every single biome, all 18 of them, have a brand new campsite variant that can form. Now, inside of this one, this is Bamboo Jungle. You can see a lot of jigsaw blocks going on. These jigsaw blocks are where bamboo, or if we were in a different biome, like the birch one, where different types of trees can generate every single time. And sometimes, to add even more randomization to these campsites, the trees will not generate and they'll be replaced with like grass or dirt or whatever the jigsaw block says. So our very first one, right off the bat, we're beginning with a brand new secret loot chest, the copper one. Moving on over to the birch forest biome, we've got a big hill, and lo and behold, more secret loot under the mountain. Next up, the cherry blossom. It's a little pond here. I love it with the pink and magenta cushion, making this one actually a little bit less rare. The poplar forest biome, we've got every single tree color reflected in the little cushions there, and a chest just sitting in the ground. That's so cozy, man. Flower forest biome, red cushion galore over here, and actually a little bit of gravel down below the campfire. One thing that I am noticing across many of these different biome structures is we have more gravel dropped into the loot table. Block generation table, excuse me. I wonder if that could potentially hint at maybe expanding these structures and getting them even more ready for a system like archaeology to jump into the game. Or more so, jump into this brand new structure. Now, this is a really, really big one. I love all the rocks over there, but these two, they're quite interesting. These are our Mega Spruce and Pine Taiga variants. If you could find this one, and in our normal world generation, this would all be filled in, so you would never see this copper chest. But if you can find this one under one of the gigantic boulders, there is hidden loot chest in both instances here. This pale garden one is a little bit of a mountain with even more copper chests. You see what I mean? The developers are buffing the campsite in this week's snapshot to make the rare loot way more common, pretty much across the board from biome to biome. Now this is one of my favorite ones here. It's a swamp one right underneath the ruined swamp hut. Another secret chest, dude. It's so cool. But what happened here, man? Who blew it up? Oh, man, this one's got a waterfall built in, and you gotta pay attention to the details, dude, every single time. Or not every single time, but many of the times, we're having hidden components going on inside of these structures with good loot. Last but not least, we've got a big old sandy hill, a barrel in there, and it looks like sand piling up, covering something. And oh my gosh, well, that's because indeed it definitely is. So yeah, it seems like Mojang felt that the loot across this structure was not well balanced enough and basically not good enough. So they went ahead and made the loot a little bit better. Now when it goes for our other structure pieces, there have been other various smaller changes going down. But aside from reminding you to smash that like button, I feel like this is a good time to remind you of the good loot possibility because now it is way more common. Any of these good things here are going to be easier to find now, which is pretty cool. Now this snapshot, a lot of technical changes, actually quite a few bug fixes as well, but it would appear that we have even more vibrant visuals, preparations as well. If you can remember, they just changed the minimum requirements. We talked about that already. Well, now we have even more shader and post-processing effects dumped into the game too. This is actually going to change how terrain will render in general. So if you jump into the game in this week's snapshot and you think things maybe look a little bit different, well, likely that's because they are. They're changing the renderer and messing with it. I haven't had the chance to do a side-by-side, but maybe I'm going crazy here. Maybe I've tricked myself. It almost looks like the world is a little bit less, like, washed out and pale. Maybe. And that's the note we'll end on here today. Thank you so much for watching this week's snapshot video. I beg, I hope, I pray that either Bedrock Edition will get something cool this week, or maybe very soon, we'll see another banger snapshot. Until then, smash like, video on the end card, and I'll see you tomorrow, probably live.